Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to a quick demo walkthrough of the imgix Salesforce Commerce Cloud integration. With me here is Luis. Say hi, Luis.
Hey, everybody.
And my name is Frederick Fogarty, and we're going to be walking through the extension together. So, firstly, you'll need to install the cartridges and the integration into your Salesforce Commerce Cloud instance. To do this, we have some extensive documentation available on our GitHub repo under SF Commerce Cloud /docs, where you can see detailed instructions of how to install the cartridges into your instance. From there, I'm going to pass on to Luis to show you how to further configure your cartridges.
Awesome. Thank you, Fred. So we're going to configure our cartridge paths. So we need to configure that on our site and on our business manager. So we're going to go ahead and open up the administration dropdown. And in here, we're looking for our site preferences. So we're going to go to Manage Sites. And we're going to select, first off, the site that we're working on. And in our case, it's going to be RefArc. Inside of RefArc, we see a bunch of tabs. We're going to go into Settings. And in Settings, here we're going to see our cartridge path. And we need to make sure we add the imgix cartridges we're going to be using. In our case, we're using both the page designer and the image integration for the products. So we're going to update the path, make sure that that's in there. And we're going to hit this Apply button. That'll make sure that our cartridge path gets updated. And now we need to go do the same thing for our business manager. So we're going to go back to Manage Sites, and in there, we'll see a link for the business manager site. We'll go ahead and click that. Once we're in here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to update the cartridge path, but this time with the business manager cartridge. And you can see that in the path there. And once we're sure that that's in there, we're going to click Apply, make sure that gets saved. And now we've updated our cartridge paths. The next step is to edit our configuration to make sure we have our API key, our domain, and our default parameters. In order to do that, we need to go to the custom preferences. We're going to go ahead and click on custom preferences. And we're going to click on the imgix custom preference group. In here, you can see that we've already inserted our imgix API key. You can get that from your imgix dashboard. And we've also added some default parameters for both the page designer and for the products page. You can also change these to whatever you want. These are the ones we've chosen. Don't forget to also include your imgix base URL. Again, you can get that from your imgix dashboard. So once this is all ready to go, we're going to go ahead and click Save on the top right. That'll make sure that our preferences do get updated. And now we've got ahead and completed all the prerequisites to start using our cartridges. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Fred here, who's going to show you some. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Fred here. It's going to show you some basic flow.
Great. Thanks, Luis. So what we're going to show you now is the first of our two major features for this integration, which is our product images integration. So how I'm going to show you this is we're going to have a look first at the Salesforce product catalog or the products management flow, where I'll show you a example product and images that are associated with this product. So these are images stored inside Salesforce in the normal manner, and there are no changes so far to the Salesforce product flow. And then what will happen is this image will, in the end, be transformed through imgix and rendered on your pages, which Luis will quickly demo to you now.
Thanks, Fred. So let's go ahead and head to Page Designer to see all of this in action. Just as a quick example. So we're going to go ahead and go to our merchant tools, into our Page Designer, and we're going to open up a product detail page template. In here, once this loads up, we're going to see a product detail page. And in there, there'll be an image. And this image, if we go ahead and preview it, you'll note is actually a imgix image being served on our Commerce Cloud instance. Let's take a look at that source, and we can see the image source is the imgix image, and it has all our default parameters included in the file path, which means that if we take a look at the image request, we can see that it's formatted in the AVIF format. which comes with all those wonderful compression and image quality benefits, as you can see there. This behavior will be applied to all the product images across Salesforce, whether that be product detail pages, product listing pages, custom templates, so not just inside Page Designer. So now we're going to go ahead and hand back off to Fred, and he'll show you the prereqs for using the Page Designer cartridge.
Thanks, Luis. So just for a quick flashback, we're going to look again at the custom preferences to ensure, and you mustn't, we're going to have a quick look back at the custom preferences where it's important to make sure that both the top two parameters are set, which will help with the Page Designer integration. And for the Page Designer integration, this is helpful to display static images on your Page Designer pages, in contrast to the first part of the integration, which helped with rendering product images, which will change depending on what products you're looking at. So naturally, this integration, or this part of the integration, is most useful on static pages. So I'm going to open up a home page here, which is a default home page that Salesforce provides. And I'll pass it off to Luis to show you how we can integrate with this page.
Awesome. Thanks, Fred. So let's go ahead and add our component to this Page Designer static page. I'm going to click the Add Components button. Scroll down, we're going to find imgix. Let's go ahead and click and drag that imgix image component onto the page, and we'll have it render. So now the Page Designer page is updated, our image component is on the page, and we can start doing some interesting things. So I'll pass it on to Fred here to take you through the flow of actually adding an image.
Great, thanks Luis. So over here on the right, you can see the configuration panel for this imgix image component. And we can go ahead and add an image to be displayed on the page by clicking this Add Image button here. That'll open up a modal, which will show our image manager, where we can select an image. So what you first must do is select a source from one of your account's available sources. I'm going to go ahead and choose this source, and then I want to show a nice photo of blueberries on my homepage. So I will go ahead and select that. And then Luis will show you how to add it to your page.
Awesome. Thanks, Fred. So now that we've selected an image, all we've got to do is click Apply, and that will pass our selection over to our modal on the right-hand side. We can see that we have our blueberries there. There is the link in case we wanted to preview the image. We could copy that over and throw it in the URL bar. There's all these attributes you can set, but for now what we're interested in doing is saving our selection, having that populate on the Page Designer page. So we're just going to click Save. And we'll see the image will populate on the page. And this is our image serving on our static page. And we could take a look at the preview and see that everything's working, but we'll do that in a second after. Well, that's fine. Everything looks good. So now we can go back and start setting some parameters. I'll pass it on to Fred.
Thanks, Luis. So you can see this component is rendering properly, and so this carousel component, we want to resize it a little bit so it fits a little bit better. So we can use the attributes over here to show you the power of imgix's dynamic resizing, where you can resize images on the fly to handle different design scenarios. And you can see this image is now better resized into this carousel component. And what's interesting, just to quickly show, is that this image has actually been resized. It's not a CSS hack, but this image is actually the right size. And in fact, it's been up to 2x because we're on a 2x display. So your images will look even better for your users. Furthermore, with these attributes, you can set a URL where if you click on the image, it will take you to that page. So for instance, you could put /about to take you to your about page if you clicked on your blueberries. You want to set some alt text on your images to help accessible users. So I'm going to set beautiful blueberries on my image here. The sizes attribute is helpful to configure your image to be responsive I won't go into detail on how to set that now. That can be found online, but that is useful to set responsive images, and also imgix generates a source set by default. The height can be used to set the height of the image. The formats can be used if you want to override what auto format does, or just set a specific format such as AVIF or PNG or JPEG or WebP or any of the formats we support, which you can see in our documentation. You can set that here. If you also want to add or override the auto formatting or any of the auto attributes such as format or compress or red eye, you can also do that here. And crop will help tell imgix how to crop this image. So for instance, you can crop to faces or to focal point cropping. So that's a quick show of the attributes of an image, and I'll pass it back over to Luis to talk about how to replace an image.
Thanks, Fred. So now that we've set our attributes and parameters the way we want them, we've decided, you know what, we don't want blueberries, we want something else. So we're going to go ahead and replace the image. To do that, we just hover over the image, we click replace, and our image manager modal will open up again. We're going to go ahead and select the source that we want. And here we'll find our replacement image. I think Puffins fits better on this page, so I'm going to go ahead and select the Puffins and click apply. And that will update our selection. And you'll note that our attributes and parameters have stuck around. So when we click save and update the selected image, it'll still have that with attribute that Fred previously defined. So I'll hand it over to Fred now to cover deletion.
Perfect, thanks Luis. So if you want to remove this component or this image from your page, you can quite easily do that by pressing the delete image here and then saving that. You'll find that the component will no longer show an image. And then to finally completely remove the component from your page, if you so wish, you can press on the X icon, which will fully delete that component from the page. And the original carousel is back in this place. And that brings us to the end of our short demo of the imgix Salesforce Commerce Cloud integration. We can't wait to see what you come up with when you integrate this into your Salesforce websites. And we're always open for feedback and support, which you can find at support.imgix.com online or support@imgix.com on email. And that's been me, Fred.
And me, Luis. Thank you all for your time.